if you want to be served, you got to be a little funny. You got to have a little personality. You got to be a little edgy, or they don't like you. You got to attack and be funny, attack and be funny. And then if they attack back and you enjoyed each other, you're next in line. You are next in line.
Wow, what a motivational speech. Thank you. I'm going to try. Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.
Because he's not the smartest one of us. It's still like the guy, right, guys?
Yo, yeah, Dom, I'm loving the Hawaiian shirt, my man. I'm loving it.
Am I fucking pale or what? I lost it.
We got to get a filter for you. We'll see if we can do something for you in post production. All right, I got you.
She just squirts tanner on herself. That's the laziest fucking thing ever. Doesn't even move. Just the front, back is white.
Yeah, they don't do it like us years ago. Like grow a set of balls, lay in a tanning bed, take that risk of getting skin cancer. No one does that anymore.
You may not be the brightest guy down the road, but you're a smart one. Something like that.
Dom, you got a backyard or something you can lay out there? I thought Hollywood, you got the sunshine and stuff out there.
I've got beautiful balconies.
How come you don't go out there? What are you doing? You don't want to
go out there. I don't want my fans seeing me.
Is Dom Irrera a beach guy?
He's on his balcony.
Is Dom Irrera a beach guy or a swimming pool guy?
Oh God. I take 2 potatoes, I put them down in front of my pants. True story. One thing goes to another. I'd rather be like in Hawaii. There's this beach that is, the pool is here. Then there's about that much sand, but and then the ocean. That's what I like.
I'm like you.
Like, do you ever see Wildwood Crest?
Oh yeah.
You got to walk like an hour to get to the guy that drives you on. It's unbelievable. People have died out there. Bring your water.
It's a mission to get to the water. That's true.
I've always hated that about Wildwood. It's annoying,
and it hasn't changed either.
It wasn't always like that. Every storm, it's always good to do a little meteorology. You know what I mean, boys? Makes you closer. It wasn't that bad. It was like when I grew up, it was actually behind us. Now it's now like Wildwood Crest. I would say, it's got to be at least 3/4 of a mile. I don't know where I got my measurement at. But you can fall for that.
It's long. It's because it everything comes from the north, right? The sand comes down. Isn't that right?
College education. Where'd you go to school?
I actually dropped out about 3 or 4 times. I've dropped out of school.
You're never going to make it in this business, so you better. Right. Wait, you think pretty because you're better looking than him? You think you're good looking? The balls on these kids today.
I do, yeah. I got a good looking face. I would say I got the youngest.
Yeah, we're the competition.
Yeah. That's why I really wanted to produce the show.
To show how cute we are.
Dom, did you ever think you'd be doing crowd work digitally? Is this crazy or what?
This is crowd work?
This is crowd work virtually. Look at this.
Where are you from originally?
New Jersey, Acco, actually.
No,
Acco.
You're kidding me. Bruce Springsteen was from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I had a dream, and I don't know why. It's not like Bruce Springsteen asked me to be in the band. And I said to him, look, I appreciate it. He says, the guys really want you, man. I said, I'd like to be in the band, but I don't play anything, and I'm a marginal singer. He says, I don't care about that. I just want you. Isn't that funny? Not like laugh out loud funny, but funny in a stranger's are. Am I gay for Bruce Springsteen? Way.
Yeah. What was he wearing in the dream? Do you remember?
Nothing. He hung his guitar from his car.
Dom, that comedy club in Wildwood, I feel like everybody talks about it. Do you remember? Like, you got any memories from that room? What was the name? What was the name of it?
We used to sell out shows Monday night, the third show, like unbelievable. What was the name of it? Was Club Casbah. Mark Vito was the owner. What's meth called? Speed.
Methamphetamine?
Yeah. Hey, I told you. You left my ass. You're a smart kid compared to this. But That club was great. I went out with this girl.
Hold on, Dom. What about the meth?
Let's not stop
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
about. I want to know about the meth.
Yeah, I want to. What
meth
what
in
did meth have to
Wildwood.
do with
He
it?
was an addict, and we couldn't stand still. One night he said to me,
Oh.
"I can't wait. I drew really well there. It's for Wildwood, it's like an extension
Right.
of South Philly." He said, I can't wait till you go get out of here. I go, why? He goes, because you sell too many tickets. I get fucking tired walking. I like the old days when I could just 50 people. It's nice. Everybody gets their drinks. I never had anybody warn me about bringing too many in. Look at this place. We're gonna never serve all this shit. We don't even have that much in the back. People.
You said 3 shows on a Monday night. Holy shit, Dom.
It was 2, but I exaggerate to clarify.
Yeah, of course.
How long was the club I mean, did it have a good run, or did it die down quick?
No, it was great. Before that, the club was a transvestite place. Never got to see that one. But when him and his mom bought it, and it was just incredible. I was out with this girl. She was a stripper, mother of 3, and her girlfriend. They come to see me, right? They're going to test and see if I was any good. The girlfriend says, if you're not good, I'm going to throw stuff at you. I said, who brings produce to a comedy show? You got the tomatoes. He's a 4 tomato. Yeah,
did you like Mac's Pizza or Sam's Pizza in Wildwood? There's 2.
I like the one on the boardwalk.
Yeah, it was Sam's and Mac's. One was at one end, the other was at the other.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the one on the boardwalk. Can you imagine that we used to live off of that?
I know.
We used to live a slice of pizza a day.
How white trashy is that, Dom?
How do you stay so thin? You don't eat. Don't eat and play basketball. I can't believe we used to do that. Your head spinning and shit. Drink a lot of fluids. I need a fucking tasty cake, and I need it now. So yeah.
Man, I haven't had a tasty cake in a long time.
Yeah, because you're in Atlanta.
I know, man. And before that, I was in Florida. Man, I haven't had one in a long time.
I think you could order them online.
Yeah, I remember this guy. It was like Frankie Avalon or one of those guys. And he was in Hollywood, and he ordered a whole Philly thing: Breyer's ice cream, cheesesteaks. He got everything flown in. It was great.
Frankie Avalon, you're tight with him?
I don't think it was Frankie Avalon, but he was like that whole. He was one of those guys. That group of stingers and actors.
Yeah, there was like a small crew of South Philly guys that.
Yeah, they were making a lot of money. The Beatles killed them.
Who was that? Frankie Avalon,
Bobby Rydell,
Fabian. Yeah. Was the Geeter with that crew, Dom? The Geeter?
I think the Geeter would be a little younger. He's only 80. He's the baby in the group.
What shows were those guys doing? I mean, I feel like I've heard of Frankie Avalon before.
They do like the Atlantic City. A lot of them were before Atlantic City legalized gambling. That was weird.
Okay.
And
what was that club called? The 500 Club?
500 Club was the Sinatra one. Skinny some guy
Skinny Joe D'Amato, was that his name? Merlino? No.
Keep going. It's a lot of Italians to get through him one night.
Skinny Joe.
Anyway, I knew his daughter and all. And this is when I was there for the transition between illegal gambling and legal. So stupid when they the all the money that the government lost, like not taking bets on football. You think anybody, even in a cop station, would go, "Oh, I was going to play this pool, but I heard it's illegal. I don't want to do anything against our society."
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Yeah. I was going to have sex with this girl, but I couldn't find the rubber. I didn't know, what am I going to do? Improvise, you little bastard.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Go ahead, Steve. What were you going to say?
No. I was just going to ask him. He said he was there for that transition between the legal gambling, the illegal and the legal. So you're saying you did shows in AC before they had theaters and showrooms and stuff, Dom? Like there were There was always live entertainment there before the casinos.
Yeah, but I couldn't get in. We did see Marvin Gaye once, but most of the time it was adults. You know, we couldn't sneak into those clubs. They had bouncers and all.
Yeah, Steve, Atlantic City was huge. Like,
no, I know that. I know the history.
Yeah.
But I mean, now you think AC, you go to gamble, you go to live entertainment.
It's like a movie set, isn't it? It's like a movie. Like, it's so nice from the outside, and you walk past it, and the end of it, it's just a big dump. You know?
Wait, this is a great segue to bring our surprise guest in, because he knows about Atlantic City. He knows about showrooms. He knows about clubs. Our guest today, Butch Bradley. He has a residency.
Who?
At the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, originally from Atlantic City. Butch, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bud. I was just watching the Phillies.
Yo, your lighting. What's up with the lighting, bro?
What do I look weird? Oh, sorry, there I am. Oh, the candle? That's Day of the Dead. Dom, how are you? It's Day of the Dead.
Hey, Chuck.
wait,
yes.
Chuck. What's Chuck? What's that?
Yo, so this is so funny. So first of all, being from Atlantic City, Dom Irrera, pleasure to be here, honor. And my family only asked me about Dom. So, you know, for my entire life, they're not asking me about anyone. They're like, yo, did you ever tell Dom that his cousin Andy, the floor person from Borgata, did you ever tell him? I'm like, yeah, I told him. He said to tell you hi. But, so you got to remember.
What am I to message you?
Yeah.
Well, Butch, for the record, tell our listeners how many years you've been a stand-up, and people are still bringing Dom up to you.
Yeah, so I've been a stand-up for like, I guess 23 years. And
he's a baby.
He's a baby, right? Yeah. What's funny is there's so many stories, but I want to tell you this.
Tell the one that your brother.
Yeah, he would call me Chuck or Bruce, and I would never correct him because he's Dom. You know what I mean? So then, like, one time someone's like, yo, Butch, come on, and Dom looked at me and he went, wait, you're Butch? And I go, yeah. He goes, why would you fucking let me call you Chuck or Bruce all these years? I go, because you're Dom Irrera, man. I'm not going to correct you.
I'll change your fucking name.
I'm like, I love you. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm Chuck to Dom.
You know what you said was hilarious? You said, I said, why don't you tell me? You go, Butch is a better name for me.
Yeah.
Butch fits with it.
Yeah, because Butch and Chuck were all. I go, well, they're all.
I look like a Butch.
Yeah.
That was 2 years.
The whole fit. So many stories. So, and God, I have so many stories with you. I went into. I didn't know that I was a puppy in comedy till I was like 11 years in, and I was hosting Comedy Magic Club. And Dom Irrera, Gary Shandling, all these murderers are there, and they went out. I watched Dom go out, do a murderous set, and then Gary.
This was in LA.
This was in Hermosa Beach Comedy Magic Club. First, Gary Shandling goes out. And he does amazing. Then Dom goes out. Dom's like 11 minutes in murdering. And Gary Shandling comes back out on Dom and goes, I want to go over some more notes. And the way you two riffed for the next like 15 minutes was just.
He was brilliant
was
guy.
Sick. And then you guys were in the back of the room and you go, how long have you been doing comedy? And I thought, God, I've been doing comedy 11 years. I have nothing. I have to tell these guys. I'm like, yeah, 11 years. And you both were like, oh, you're a puppy. And I was like, oh my God, how long before, how long do we have to go? But
you look like a Butch. That's what he said. You look like a Butch. I love that.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me about Comedy Magic Club. Is this like a known?
I was there last week.
Yeah, Comedy Magic Club is the hardest room in the country to get into. It is TV ready performances, and everybody is Dom's level. I mean, every celebrity, half the time I was there, it was like 9 celebrities and 2 of us. Like, you hear about the Factory, you hear about the Comedy Store, you hear about the Improv, but the Comedy Magic Club is was all the time was Robin Williams, Jay Leno, Dom.
They're open again, They opened about 6 months ago.
Yeah, I just saw online that they opened up again. Yeah. But
what's like, do you got to get passed to get in? Is it referral?
yeah.
They want to see you first. I mean, unless
you got to get walked in by a Dom Irrera, and then you have to do well. So, if I was a puppy at 11 years, I'm guessing Rinaldi's not going to see Comedy Magic for a little while.
I'm 10 years in. My wife tonight, as I'm taking out the trash, she's like, "You're still doing this shit? You've been doing it forever." I can't wait to show her this episode.
Yeah.
I can't wait. You're telling me 11 years in is a puppy.
Yeah.
What she look like?
You know what they said?
Go slow.
Dom said, I remember you said you're just going to start to figure it out. That's what you said.
Really? What the fuck do I know?
Yeah, God, so many fun stories. So I was one of the really fun moments. My whole family's around me at the Tropicana Comedy Stop, the old room, and Dom is coming down the escalator after doing the giant theater, and we cross paths. I'm just hoping he sees me and says my name and knows me, because my little baby crowd is around me. So now Dom comes down. My crowd doesn't care about me anymore. Holy shit, Dom Irrera is walking down. He comes down. We meet in the middle. I'm smiling because I know he's going to say something. I'm like ready for whatever he's going to say. And I go, "Yo, Dom, it's so exciting. You're in the theater. I can't wait for someday maybe I'll do it." And you go, "Not going to happen. Enjoy the little room." And the crowd went nuts. And they went nuts. And my cousins and everybody, my family, quickly turned their backs in the midst of compliments and went right to Dom like, "We don't even know who he is. We don't know that guy. We were trying to get tickets to your show, Dom." Yeah.
I liked working that room because don't name him, but the guy was really a prick.
Yeah.
You know what happened, right?
Yeah. He was.
There's this guy. Our contract was you can't work a main room in 4 weeks after your appearance there.
Yeah.
In that area, or was it certain amount of miles?
certain amount of miles, 90 miles or something. So I get a call in the middle of the week to do a gig for $10,000. There was 4 of us: Ellen DeGeneres, Mario Polio. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Jungler. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What matters is he had a restraining order on me because I didn't even know that they weren't allowed to. I thought I'm not a main room. What am I, Sammy Davis Jr. all of a sudden? I'm not a headliner. So anyway, he had a thing against me, a restraining order. I couldn't get on stage unless I did certain things. And one of them was to plug the Tonight Show 3 times.
Wow.
So they called, I'm going up and I don't say a word. I try to do my best on stage. And he said, this guy, the guy, the owner I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I said, I didn't know that, but I said, I wouldn't do that to you. And I wasn't a hand. He said, well, why didn't you tell me that? I said, you never asked. You just went right to the law and, tried to fuck me. It's like so stupid. Like, who goes? I don't think so. I can't do the Trop, 200 seat room next to 3,000 people. Am I making sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, because he would make us sign these contracts, guys, and like any comedian, you're getting your paycheck. It was some bullshit contract, and you would just, sign. And then in there was a clause that said you couldn't work within like 30 miles of his club within like a crazy amount of time. It was like a 4-month period. So he was crushing dudes who could work and make money because, of course,
make a living and make money within that travel.
Yeah, so it really hurt a lot of people, and of course you're thinking when he's going after like a Dom, all of us are like, wow, this is insane. He never could get enough to help, like to step out of his own way. You know what I mean? But he did it in Vegas too. In Vegas, in all these places, each corner is its own entity of market. Like bookers are delusional to think that your corner is going to be affected because you could work all 4 corners. It's going to be 4 different audiences.
Basically, Vegas is crazy because you change the audience changes every week.
Yeah, right.
Instead of
Yeah,
the-
but Butch, now that you're based in Vegas, you don't just work your residency at the Strat. If the
No.
Comedy Cellar or the Tropicana, the Laugh Factory calls you, you'll do a spot. Right? I don't know.
Yes, I'm kind of rare. It's funny, like you're saying it into the universe and being a comedian. I'm like, don't jinx it. But yeah,
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
sorry.
I do work all the rooms. I'm pretty lucky. But what happened was, like, you know, I followed the old school way. Like I went out and auditioned for these clubs and showcased for in Hollywood, and I showcased in New York. So I became a regular. So that conversation, these owners, I explained to them, hey, you know, I'm a regular at these clubs. I can't say no to Esty in New York and to,
Oh yeah.
you know, I'm trying to build my career. So they're pretty cool, man. They're real flexible at LA Comedy Club with me, and they work with me, and they're excited about me building, and you know, it works.
What's the best gig you ever had in like AC?
You know, AC the Hard Rock was really good. You know, that was exciting for me. I think it's like that's really good. You know, I did those rooms so many times that we were talking about, but in AC was always difficult. Philadelphia and Atlantic City were always difficult audiences. It took me years to figure out how to survive those.
You know how I got the headline was I was working with Cher.
Oh my God.
Oh no, that's a different story. I was working with I was working with Whitney, what's Whitney's last
Houston?
name? Yeah,
Whitney
yeah.
Houston.
Whitney Houston?
How do you know Whitney Houston, Dom?
I didn't. They booked me, you know, their agent talked to my agent. That was it. But one show, I was supposed to do 30 minutes, and it's going. I'm going. I know 30 minutes. Saying we're on 45 now.
Right.
And I get to close to an hour, and I say, look, I'm going to tell you something. You know, and she's not here yet. She's late. I don't know what she's doing, but I'm only staying up here because I'm not going to leave you in the dark. Right? And they start cheering for me because, you know, I said, I wouldn't do that to you. It's not your fault. Her and Bobby Brown are doing fucking coke. But that's it. That was kind of cool, you know, to get it that way.
Yeah.
So wait, so Whitney and Bobby Brown come after you opened for them. Do you do cocaine with Whitney and Bobby?
No, I don't. But,
No, I didn't.
it was me, officer. But I mean, he saw that I could sell tickets in Atlantic City, Philly area, and that was how I got. You know, you need a break to get those gigs.
Huge break. Yeah.
I mean,
Dom, you've been playing the Tropicana in Atlantic City for like almost 2 decades, right? That's your room, that showroom.
I floated around though. I did Borgata and something else. You know, I don't know where I'm going to go now.
Do you bounce around when you hit the Vegas market, or you just
you were at the Laugh Factory a lot, right?
Yeah, lately. Well, the best gig I had in Vegas was opening for Cher. Everything, we had so much fun. I would sit at Sportsbook. You know, Sportsbook is in the Mirage next to the theater.
Yeah.
I had it down so much. I would see 30 seconds to go, and I'd sprint down the hall. I had shoes at the time. I heard everywhere shoes. I'm sliding, and I go, hey, and and I do the 25 to the 30 minutes. So fucking easy. And then she'll come out. Her and I will pass, each other. We always had something to say, and I go. She goes, you talked about jizzing over a hedge. My grandmother's here. I said, oh yeah, that means your grandfather sees your ass. She started laughing. We start the show different every night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you didn't need to work clean when you worked with her, Dom?
No, the only joke she didn't like was the one thing you want to hear when you're watching pornography with your girlfriend is, now that's a cock.
She didn't like that one?
Thing. No, she didn't like that. She goes, that's a cock. That's my audience. You clean it up. Jeez. I said, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've never had gigs like that. My big gigs were like doing stuff in like the Middle East, like it's probably Saddam's
It's
palace.
a pretty big gig.
Yeah, doing Saddam's palace for like 10,000 troops. Those troops in theater, those were the those were the big ones and the coolest ones. And, you know, I love those. In Atlantic City, I mean, I remember my grandfather showing me the Hoot newspaper and pointing Dom Irrera out and going, this guy's really funny, Butchie. One day he's going to call you Chuck. But no, but my grandfather would point out everyone in the Hoot, and he would tell me about comedy and about, like, you know, all these people. And, you know, he knew every single performance that was going on. And it was a big deal. Like, for him to open that up and go over everybody, and him and my grandmother would go see all the shows. But my family, like, literally, I'm going to be at a wedding in a week and I'm going to tell them I did this. But I have to think about when I tell them, because this is 500 questions. So they'll just be like, oh my God. And I swear to you, someone's going to go, yo, did you mention me to him? Because he knows me, because I know. Yeah,
so this is why you hate me, because of this, huh?
Yeah, no, I love you, man.
I never said anything to your family.
Yeah.
So Butch, when you and Dom first crossed paths, was that when you made your way and relocated to LA, or was that
probably Philly? Don't you think?
Philadelphia and Atlantic City. I would introduce myself to you a couple times, and then I saw you a ton at the Laugh Factory. I got myself in a bit of an argument with Jamie Masada, and
get in line, man.
Yeah, and then you cleaned it up. You literally, and I doubt you remember this, someone goes, Dom wants to talk to you. And I was a little nervous. I was like, holy shit, why is Dom want to talk to me? Am I in trouble for something? Like, because no one's ever said Dom wants to talk to you. They didn't say he has a gig. They said Dom wants to talk to you. I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, okay. And I respectfully I call and you go, hey, listen, what's going on? Why am I not seeing you at the factory more? And I go, you know what? I got in an argument. And you go, enough's enough. And you go, this is Jamie Masada's favorite wine. I want you to go next door to the deli. I want you to buy that wine. I want you to meet me in the lobby. I go, Dom, he's going to make a scene. I'm going to be embarrassed. You go, buy the wine, meet me in the lobby, and it's done. It's squashed. I promise. I go, buy this wine. I come into the lobby. I'm smiling ear to ear. Dom's there, the wine's open, and Jamie Masada goes, okay, buddy, I forgive you. Dom say you good guy. I forgive you, buddy. Come here. He takes the wine, and him and Dom drink it, and I'm back in the factory.
That's the most Italian OG shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's huge, because no one bumped heads with Jamie and got back in. No one. I literally had to go back to Philly to the Italians to get me back in.
You guys got to see. You ever see the one with me and Bill Burr and Jamie?
I watched that episode. So Dom has a great podcast called Dom Irrera Live at the Laugh Factory.
Oh, you know, I saw it, of course.
There's a classic episode with Jamie. I never met him. Dom's on, and they bring Burr up on stage and they tape it right on the Laugh Factory stage.
Yeah.
But
the room was empty. It was just the three of us.
Yeah. And what were you saying?
I was fucking crying laughing. Bill was so funny. He just about how he thanked Jamie for changing his life by rejecting him in LA and went back to New York and became a real comedian. Get it, because he's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And I love your episode, Dom, with Sebastian. It's a classic episode from like 8 or 9 years ago, where he says that Jamie watched him do 5 minutes. He waited in line outside to get in and showcase. And Jamie called him in the back, and he told him that he's too angry. So why are you angry? He said to him.
That's funny. He rejected him.
Well, we're taking fucking comedy tips from a Middle Eastern guy. You know, but the hardly speaks English, and he's the one that could change our life.
Jamie, he had his particulars on who he liked and didn't like.
Well, to get past the Laugh Factory, was it the same process that you hear from the Comedy Store, where you had to get in front of him
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or was there multiple different managers that would have to see?
I don't know who. I mean, I was very lucky with that because I brought him a show. It was called the Full Frontal Comedy. It was on Showtime. It was good. We won an Emmy Award, all the shit.
Wow.
But
Right.
I brought him, like they said, where do you want to go? We'll do this. I loved the Comedy Store, but she was tough at the time. I mean, we up and down. I loved her, but she was tough. This is Mitzi, the owner.
Yeah.
Mitzi, sure.
I said, why don't you do it at the Laugh Factory? Jamie's going to be easy to work with, and the short ride for the cables and all this television shit.
Right.
So I got him. He loved me from that. He didn't get to have to see my work. That's another way of going in.
Yeah, Bob Marley brought me.
Bring him a TV show.
Well,
bring him a TV show. Exactly.
Audition.
I'll have to remember that, Dom.
Yeah, Bob Marley got me my audition there, and I auditioned for him, and then and I auditioned for Mitzi the old school way. So I kind of passed, and then I did the Martin Short show for the Improv, and then I called the Improv. I was so scared. I just wanted to work with all these people like Dom, and it's so scary and so crazy. I forget, but this conversation reminds me of how crazy it is because these guys are all murdering, and you're around people that you've only watched 100 times on television. You know what I mean? So for the Improv, I called and left a message. I said, this message is for Bud Friedman. I'd just like to say, I'm doing the Martin Short show tomorrow. If you have any time on your hands and you can watch it, and then you can hear me go, I can't believe I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? He's never going to hear this. And I hang up. So I do the Martin Short show. And a week later, I'm just sitting there completely impoverished. And I'm like, what the F? I'll call. And I go, hi, my name's Butch Bradley. Butch, there's a note here from Bud. He thought your message was funny. Saw you on Martin Short. You're passed here at the Improv. Wow. So that's that. Like I had to go through these times. And then when you're on the schedule at the Laugh Factory, it's 6 Dom Irreras and you're in the corner, like trying not to dry heat. Special. It's crazy. And Jamie Masada would put you, like the guys like me, right in the middle. And he would go, buddy, this is very good for you, buddy. You're going to go learn tonight. Good, go. And I'm like, Jamie, I don't think I should follow, all of the weigh-ins on the first night. And, every time you go to follow weigh-ins, there's another one. There's Damon, there's Johnny, there's Frankie, there's 70 weigh-ins family members. Then there's Dane Cook. And then there's whoever, Chris Tucker and Seinfeld. And it was just the most amazing 2001 to like 2008. I just got like beat up in such a good way, but it was incredible. It was years.
How far along after the Comedy Store got established as the premier club in LA did the Factory start gaining heat?
I don't know. Paul Mooney was always there, and he used to get Pryor in there sometimes. And it's half of what it is, what it is now in size. So it's a really small little place. I never did it because I came into town being an improv act, and I auditioned to the Comedy Store. And the thing that was, I passed, right?
Right.
I go back home. I'm at the Improv there, and how do you do? I passed. Paid regular? I go, yeah, paid regular. Holy shit! I'm feeling real good about myself. I get there, she forgot who I was. I don't remember you. No, so I gotta have the fucking audition again. I didn't get any funnier.
Butch, did you do a similar thing when you moved out west to LA? Like, did you have a plan, or was it the out like living out of the car thing?
No, I had went out once with Bob Marley, who was really in big in LA, and he brought me. I auditioned. I did like some TV show, like You're the Next Big Star. Like I got called out and auditioned for some TV star, like a talent show. And Jamie saw me and he said, if you ever move out here, I'll work you and you can come work here. So I moved back out with my hockey bag, completely broke, in a studio.
Wow.
And I went up to the front door. There was a line around the block. And the doorman, I banged on it and he waved me off. And I banged on it. I go, yo, Jamie said, and he waved me off. I turned to leave and I thought, and the whole line was watching me. And I stopped and I'm like, if you walk, dude, you're never going to have this kind of courage to bang on that door again. So I banged on the door really hard, and he pointed to the exit, like, I'm going to kick your ass at that exit over there. Like, we're going to fight. And I went over, he opened the exit, and he starts in on me. And I go, yo, wait. And Jamie's behind him and goes, hey, buddy, aren't you Bob Marley's friend? I swear to God.
That's perfect.
And he goes, you crazy. I heard some crazy man banging on the
Good for you, Butch.
Yeah. He goes, come on in, crazy man. And he go, and he watched me. He auditioned me again. He made me come to I think it was like a 6 or 7, and there were like 7 homeless people in there. And I was so angry that he was making me do it again. I picked up the microphone and I went to the edge of the stage because his VIP booth is right there. And I just performed one-on-one to him, like obnoxiously, like, this is my set. I don't know why you have me here. These guys are all homeless, just trying to seek shelter. And I was really bitter, crazy in New Jersey. Like, and I'm like, and then I go, thank you for your time. And he started to laugh and he goes, buddy, that's better than your act. Like, but yeah. And then, and he passed me and he said I could call in, and then I just started going, and I was broke, dude. So I was there every show. I knew what celebrities would be late. So I would go to the manager and go, hey, if you're in a jam, I'll cover for you. And they would look at me like, I'm not going to be in a jam. Arsenio Hall's coming in. Arsenio Hall was always like 8 minutes late. I would take his 8 minutes. Aisha Tyler, always late. I would get 7 minutes off of her. I would steal time all the time on the.
So you hung at the club.
I lived there and I memorized everybody's schedules, and I would hone in on the dudes who would show up whenever they wanted.
It's a little obsessive, it's kind of scary. I waited for every show and every detail. I knew how much dandruff they had that night.
Back then you could stalk, Dom. Back then you could stalk, you could. It was accepted,
To stalk?
So funny. Look, this is so important to me doing this that, you do a podcast. I literally showered. I got my dress jeans on. I have dress shoes on.
I noticed your pants when you walked in.
Yeah. I like prepare. I have cologne on. I was like, you know what? I can't just do this podcast with Dom, like, show up like, so I have dress shoes on for you, Dom, in a podcast.
Stop it. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry when I saw you.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
There's the Day of the Dead back there. Do you see it? The Ardeo Merta Day of the Dead.
Oh, that's what that stuff is back there. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not a Satan altar, Brian. It's for Day of the Dead.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I like the
I'd sacrifice something if I thought it would enhance my career. I would. I've been at the Crossroads a few times.
What's the club you're working at in Vegas?
LA Comedy Club. It's at the Strat. It's they just built a new $3 million room, and it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous room. And these guys kind of grinded through Vegas like comedians. Like they were at Binion's, they were at here, they were at there. They worked, you know what? They were ushers for Sharippa years ago, and they loved comedy at the Ritz.
That's cool.
They've seen Dom a million times, Joaquin and Matt, and these guys just genuinely were fans of mine, and they said, we will give you a run if you want to try it. I was exhausted. I just got back from China, and I was so exhausted from the road. And I started that residency in a little like a little rough boxing type room, and it fell into this room, and it's just been really good. So I'm 4 years with the residency.
And you do the 10 o'clock show, and then the off nights is Brad Ernst, right?
He does Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, he does the 10. And we're the only non-celeb residents of comedy really in Vegas. And then, there was one other dude, Edwin San Juan, great dude. But everybody else is like celebs, real deal guys. But, I just kind of redo a new show every night. I just got a good steady habit of doing like 40% new. And it built me up.
Wow.
I won a handful of awards. I just won a NPR award for, you don't know who he is, but he's killing every night. They did a great. It's funny because I won a Vegas award.
Who was it? Who are they talking about?
I won a Vegas award no one would give me credit for, but NPR, I know he said something. He's like, yeah, sure you did, Chuck. But yeah, it's all good, man. Just grinding. I love it.
Hey, Butch, do you miss the road?
Well, I can tour if I want. It's only really opened up a little bit more the last 3 to 4 months. I went to Chicago. I did Zanies. I went and
That's
did
cool.
Stir Crazy in Arizona. I did the Improvs a bunch. I want to go back to Comedy Magic, but if where Vegas is right now is a lot like what we're used to experiencing in New York or LA. So I can do 7 and 9 at the Cellar. I just did Brad Garrett's Thursday with Steve Byrne. I covered,
Cool.
there. I cover for Brad a lot, and then I do the Factory, and I'm in a really lucky spot because I came through showcasing in Hollywood, New York, because of my years, and I just got lucky. I really got lucky. And I was like the only dude living there. So everybody else was an open micer. But so I got all this work right as the pandemic opened. I was like, oh Lord, COVID's sort of helping me out here. It was weird, but I got a movie. I'm in Reagan. It comes out in January with Dennis Quaid, and I got my special on Amazon. So
Yep.
yeah.
Dom, did you play COVID during the pandemic?
Yeah, we started in Florida when it got really bad. I was in Tampa, and people were spitting and drinks, and we didn't catch anything. Then about 2 months ago here, we got sick.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend's a lot younger than me. Who would have thought? And she had the bug for about an hour and a half. I swear to God,
Really?
I said, go outside. You're gonna jump the fucking rope in here, you little. Anyway.
How did you take it? Rough you up a little bit? I mean, I had it pretty bad. I was banged up for a little while.
I got the bronchitis from it. I didn't have much of a fever or anything, but
I had it twice, and both were awful, and both were 2 types.
You always have to top us.
What?
Even in sickness, you top us.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Well, I was very sick. Yes.
Yeah.
See, Dom's got the guns, man. You don't know. And he's got the East Coast guns. It's like being at home,
Butch, I love what you say about the East Coast, Northeast comics.
Yeah.
Compared to guys that were breeded and started in LA.
Yeah.
Can you share that pitch that you say to me all the time?
We all grew up around people in our families, and I bet Dom will agree with me. We all sitting here have hilarious family members. I have aunts that could bury most dudes that think they're funny. Literally, I could just be like, Aunt Rosie, could you do 5? And they would fucking burn. Dude, the room would be over, done. So you grow up with this culture of Philly, New Jersey, New York, a hint of Delaware, and you just sort of get in this, and you learn, and you're speaking with your hands, and there's food. Everything you're doing, even ordering or going to the post office, requires, if you want to be served, you gotta be a little funny. You gotta have a little personality. You gotta be a little edgy, or they don't like you. You got to attack and be funny. Attack and be funny. And then if they attack back and you enjoyed each other, you're next in line. You are next in line.
Wow, what a motivational speech. Thank you. I'm going to try.
I feel like sarcasm too. Sarcasm is very big on the on the East Coast.
Right.
They don't get it other places.
I'm sure.
Dom, see how you and Butch are these ball breaking East Coast guys?
Yeah.
Did it ever
get to the point, fat boy?
No. No, I'm saying in all your years, meeting these comics that end up out west and they're not like us, where they know what you're doing when you're breaking balls. Did you ever turn the wrong person off where they think it's a serious thing that you don't like them, but you're just busting their chops?
No, I never did that. Never happened. He's mentioned Sebastian, and people said to me, and I knew Sebastian from when he worked the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
I always liked him. One night I got his tip jacked up because this guy was bragging about how rich he was. I said, buy 2 bottles. It was like $500 a bottle. I got him a good tip, And he told me he wanted to be a comedian. So one night I walk in his comedy store. Oh, Sebastian got on stage. What a fucking comedian! You know what I mean? So many people are going to try, and it's hard.
Right.
I was getting people calling me going, "There's this Italian guy. He's doing your act." I said, "No, he's not. He's fucking great. He's a buddy of mine. What are you talking about? Do I own Italy now? I can't say anything.
Right.
Italy, any Italian? I couldn't say you what or anything." I mean, fucking, because he's very straight, like in the sense of intelligent, intense he is. And he's on my show called Breaking Balls, was the name of the show. And I said, "You want a drink?" He goes, "No." I said, "Have one drink." He goes, I said, "What, you quit drinking?" He goes, "No, Dom, but it's Tuesday." The fucking weirdest thing. So I would drink, but it's Tuesday. It's like, can we do that again? Okay. I thought it was gonna be stronger, but it wasn't. Comedian's confession.
Holy shit.
It's all right.
Yeah, that was good. I used to play softball with Sebastian and those guys, and Sebastian would come out dressed with like the sweatband and this outfit that I thought he was being funny and like Burt Kreischer guys, and he came out like straight up dressed to play. He was very serious. He felt like he was 15 years older than us, and even touring, I would get everybody's room, and he'd be like, "Butch, you don't need to know what room I'm in." and I go, "What do you mean?"
It's a little creepy.
I go, "What if we're?" I go, "We're all going out. I can reach in. We can, reach." Now everything I say sounds creepy. I could reach in, but I had Ernst, Tripoli, him, not Tripoli, Steve Byrne, and him, and but he always felt like a reserved 60-year-old Italian guy, like, who might be connected. He was always sort of reserved and nice, but yeah, good dude, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, you sent me a picture today, Butch. You said you guys did karaoke.
Me, Dom, Johnny Sanchez, Brett Ernst, and Sebastian did karaoke. Yeah, once again, there it is. Yeah,
it is.
And Ruben Paul.
Wow, when was this?
This was like, I was doing this show, No Last Call, and I asked Dom to please come do it. He popped on off of another show. He did like 10 minutes. And it was funny because you did it for me because you didn't want to enter that place, but you did for me. And then we all went next door to the karaoke place and hung out all night. It was so fun, man. So
this was Atlantic City.
Oh, that's Planet Rose, right? Planet Rose.
Yeah,
Planet Rose.
Oh, I didn't realize
I
that was
Rose.
AC.
Yeah. I saw the rose. I see the rose sign in the background.
So fun, man. So fun.
That's dope, man. Hey, Butch, are you doing any shows while you're back east, or you're just hanging out with family?
You know what? I haven't really gotten to see the family since before pandemic, and this is funny, but it's a family member. You ever go to a wedding where the family member is liked by everyone? I know this is going to be a good wedding because you know who's going. Everyone will go. It's like certain family members may get married, and you're like, I'm not going to that one because half of the fun people aren't going to go to that wedding. So this is going to be a great wedding, and like everyone's going. And
do you know who's sitting at your table yet? Those are the questions.
I don't know, but my family's a lot of fun. So I do know this. I even warned my girl. She goes, "Well, we got Thanksgiving." And I go, "Look, this is going to be a very serious drinking wedding. Italians and Irish. This is going to be insane." Boy. I'm like, she goes, "Well," I go, "You might just think we're good for the entire holidays after 3 days of eating and drinking with my family. I might have to carry you home." Like, she's like, "Oh, I got it." I'm like, "Well, this is going to be a good one, man. It's good. I'm excited."
Sounds like fun.
Butch, we got to meet up and get a Sacco's sub while you're home, bro.
Yes, Sacco's or Dino's. I grew up with both. I love both in different ways. Yeah.
Dom, you like Sacco's or the White House
I like the
when
White
you're in
House.
Atlantic City?
White House.
You're a White House guy?
Most of the White House is great. It's so funny because White House, they wait on you like it's a bartender and he's in a 5-star dining experience. And you're like, look, dude, I grew up here. It's
she's a retired waitress from the Tropicana.
Yeah. And you're like, look, dude, I'm not tipping you $10 to make my $35 half of cheesesteak. Like, take it easy. You know, I almost got murdered walking in here. Let's just take it easy, you know. And they're all polished up with the shirt in and like, you know, we're the White House. I'm like, you're good. Beatles haven't been here in a minute. Let's just take it easy, okay? All right, let's resize this room. But
I can't believe Tony's Baltimore Grill's still running.
Oh, come on!
Have you guys both ate there?
I love what?
Oh,
I love it. We grew up on it. Where did you grow up, Rinaldi? Stop trying to slide into South Jersey.
No, I'm asking Dom if he knows Tony's. Dom, you know Tony's?
I don't think so.
It's right outside the Tropicana. It's like known.
He has to.
Oh, I know.
Dom knows it. Dom knows it.
Is that Baltimore or something?
Yeah,
Baltimore Grill. Yeah, the Baltimore Grill.
Yeah.
But I mean, guys from South Philly and South Jersey, obviously. I mean, look how Butch got offended. I know Tony's.
You know what's funny? My mom would walk us through that bar area when we were little kids, and I used to be terrified. And then years later, I'm having a cocktail there, and I go, I've become one of the creepy creatures of the bar at the Baltimore. Like the door opens and the light came in. I was like, hey, you know.
They still give the ponies a Rolling Rock.
Yeah. Oh, and they'll serve you and serve you and serve you. If your face was on the bar there, they would just pour the booze down your cheek, you know?
Never closes?
Yeah, buddy.
It's one of the only 24-hour bars down here, Tom.
I love it. Yeah.
Crazy. That's not in the casino.
Yeah. All those places made so much money because when resorts opened, all of those people went out and partied all through 1979, 80, all through the 80s. That was all like mobsters, beautiful people, cocaine, and like booze, all the way up to like 86. And then it started to dive, you know?
Butch, that's what we were talking about right before you logged in. Dom was saying that like underground, like illegal gambling and a lot of shows and stuff before the casinos came in, AC was kind of popping.
It was a red light. Yeah. Right. Yeah. My mom was open resorts and like she tells me stories and she tells me how like working in the cage, they would pile money. She'd have money up to her neck. They'd stop. She'd have to count herself down. Her and her friends would count themselves down. They would load giant wheeling trash bins. One would go into the casino bank and one would go out the back door. They'd take all the cash in and then count themselves out.
Bastards.
Yeah.
I wish I was related to that guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Dom, did you play that early resorts, Dom?
No, I don't think I was ever in resorts. What was the hotel?
Resorts International, the casino, Resorts International. There was a lot.
Was that the first one?
It was the first one, and it's like, you know, like been years since like it had like the first 5 years of the run of casinos, and then it sadly just quickly became dated and cut out, and all the entertainers sort of. I mean, that was Sinatra, you know, everybody, and then all of a sudden it kind of. I don't know what took place in those after, like, as the 80s started. I don't really know. I guess economy, you know. It kind of changed now in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I guess they brought those bigger music acts back in. You know, I don't know.
I work with Paul Anka.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh God, what a fucking attitude he had. He had heels on, Cuban heels. And when he met me, he was like doing an honor. He goes, "How you doing?" You know, I thought he was gonna go, "Kiddo." You know, it was like
yeah.
Natalie Cole, I worked. She was terrific.
Oh wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah,
I worked for Sherman Hemsley one time, and he really was a great actor. I was a TV actor, but he really stunk at a live show. I mean, he stunk. He's nothing. George. So I'm sitting back there. The place is empty, and his manager sits next to me, and he goes, "What can I tell you? He wanted to do it." Like he knew he sucked, but
yeah, good stuff, man.
That's great. Butch, thank you a million times for doing the show.
No, it's an honor. I mean, Dom, you've always been so cool. I mean, ever since I started my career, you've always been one of those famous, cool, classy guys that the comedians
keep that to ourselves, huh?
Yeah. But I saw you everywhere through my career, and you were always the same cool dude. Montreal, airports, the factory, the store, everywhere. You were always an approachable, incredible comic, and like it's just appreciated, probably way beyond you'll ever know the level of love guys have for you. So thanks for having me.
Well, did somebody check my medical records? Is something happening? Something I should know about?
No.
Thank you, Butch. Chuck.
That's our show, guys. Butch Bradley,
Good to see
Dom.
you, Butch.
Good to
Thank
see
you, Butch.
See ya.
Yo, Dom, over here.
Bye.
Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.